Magic mushroom tapestry. That is the bollocks. Or you could say the dog's bollocks. Isn't that right? Hello, Luna. This is Luna. Psychedelic tapestries. What's going on, everyone? Man's out here. We're going to do a live with KT, which is a fucking herbalist, basically. It's basically this great, super cool, like spiritual girl I met in the flesh who found my YouTube and resonated with me. And we only met up once, but she literally, no, here she is. Yo, she's gonna join the live, ain't you? I hope. Let's get it. And we're gonna keep it up like on my YouTube and republish it, but we both know about all of the rabbit holes, so it's going down big time.
Hello.
Except, yo, how's it going? What the
Hi.
fuck is Instagram is so shit sometimes. Hello.
Hello.
What go on?
How are you
Let's
doing?
kick. I'm very good. I've been very good recently. How are you?
Yeah, I have been slacking a bit recently, but that
You know, we're all human. Oh, we got.
exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's.
all
Uh,
good. So
Half the
yeah.
people who are going to join are going to be from your end. If
Okay.
But regardless if people join or not, it's just like a video, and then I'll make it on the Spotify as well, kind of like a podcast. But we're just going to have like a conversation, yeah, just because we both know a lot about like the kind of the rabbit holes of like the what you could somewhat call like the information revolution, kind of. Whereas like it's where there's so many things. Obviously, if you know about like spiritual awakening in general or personal development, and like a lot of these conscious rappers we're very familiar with, and like the health revolution, and like also kind of it gets into like conspiracy sort of shit and like metaphysics and things like that. There's many fucking rabbit holes of many things that we could talk about. So I met Katie in the flesh only once, and she's
Yeah.
literally basically a herbalist, right? Go on, what? Sorry.
Don't say yeah. I was practicing. I'm very new.
You know a lot about. I think I don't know if you, like compared to what most people know. You know your shit about like healing and herbs and shit.
Yeah, I would like to go into that, but it's just when you've got so many options and you think like I'm just trying to see what I like right now because I'm trying to start a garden. I feel like that would be a great idea,
Yeah, it's hard to know what to
with
pursue.
everything going on at the minute. So,
Yeah,
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 I'm
well,
starting a garden tomorrow.
you what? Sorry,
I'm starting a garden tomorrow.
that's
So, yeah,
mad. How,
yeah, I'm gonna
how
plant some stuff.
that is sick. That's always been one thing. Like kind of like it's just self-sufficiency, and it is like the most like attractive thing ever in like in terms of lifestyle
Resourceful.
and
I
everything.
feel
Like
like if when the apocalypse comes, you want to be around people who are like resourceful. Do you know what I mean? And can actually like
well, it's just cool to like learn how to, to just not
yeah,
be, because
not to
it's like the
rely on it.
ultimate form of taking responsibility to be, because you're completely sovereign and you become like an actual individual if you don't rely on like the state or the tap. Because like aren't everything that we eat in that is all like, well, because it's all corporate and like shipped in. Like I swear someone could just turn the taps off.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they say they might do. Obviously, like it's gonna be like 15 minutes soon, isn't it? So
Oh, what, like
you have
climate change or
so,
something? No, you
like
can only use your tap. Huh?
yeah, exactly. So you can only go like a certain distance, and it's like oh, you've got everything you need. But
Oh
like
yeah,
my local
yeah. No,
town
I know the
have
15
like
minute city. Yeah,
organic stuff. Do you know what I mean? And you know what they do? It's like
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
in the more deprived areas, they've got like less or like less healthier stuff, even in the same shops, the same like chains of shops. Do you know what I mean? Or like for
Yeah,
example, like
who?
here, some places have a Waitrose, but we don't have a Waitrose. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you mean. But who's to determine with the 15-minute city thing,
Mm.
which I think is getting introduced in Oxfordshire first, or Oxford, which is like the government's plan because of climate change or something. Basically,
to limit your like travel, and that you're going to have like everything you need within a 15-minute proximity of like walking,
I don't
basically.
understand how they do it though.
Yeah, but who determines what is what you need? Because
Yeah.
like obviously there are places with like 5G towers and shit, and like who says what you need? I might need like shit that isn't in the 15-minute. You know what I mean? Like who determines like what I need?
They've tried to program us that much. Like if you walk around Tesco, or something, you'll see like these big signs that say choice and this sort of thing, but you don't actually have any choice. You're all picking like the same. It's the same poison, and it's hard to explain to someone that doesn't understand it. Do you know what I mean? Because like it's like everyone just walks into the shop. Oh yeah, I'll get the Twix. I'll get this, that, and the other. But then when you wake up to it, it's like, oh, what's in this? And then you turn the packet round and it's like E40 something, and you're like getting all paranoid.
Yeah, that's what,
I don't know what it is.
that's what I was working at fucking Domino's, and I was reading. I don't work there anymore. I was reading the fucking ingredients on the sauce, and it was like a fucking novel. And one of the things on there was like D fucking 45 or some shit. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
like, is that a whole
exactly, like, and just chemicals that you can't even pronounce. Like I remember I went to the shop with my little brother the other day, and I went in there and he's like getting these like American sweets, and me being me, I've like turned it round and I'm like, no, you can't have this. This is gonna give you ADHD and all of this, and yeah, it wasn't great, but I don't know.
Well,
I just get paranoid, but it is really bad for you, and it pisses me off because everyone sort of just doesn't want to talk about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, the thing is that it can be like, because my views on it have changed quite a bit, and like the overview of what we're basically saying is that like the vast majority of food in our culture in this day, it seems like when you go especially to smaller shops, but like most supermarkets, if you research, like a lot of people demonize the vast majority of supermarkets and what they would call big food, and big food, big pharma, government, big media are just basically becoming one entity, and it's just a fucking monopoly to extract loads of money from this grid, keep everyone ill, and then like, because there was so much profit with all like the COVID and stuff like that, and it goes so deep. And I'm not saying any of these conspiracies are actually 100% solid, but what I am saying is that it is fucking solid. Me and Katie both know, and a lot of people know if you research and follow the leads that we're on about, is that like most shit in the supermarket is polluted in a lot of ways. Like they have, they would have like microplastics. There's like fluoride and chlorine in our tap water, and pesticides on the food, genetically modified, and people are like, and even like it's just the root of the pandemic, basically. This is what's going to get my Instagram fucking removed, and this is why my YouTube got removed. I think, Katie, maybe you'd agree, let me know, is that basically what a lot of us think is that there seems to be unconsciousness and unawareness with the population that basically, like, you can do what you want, you can eat shit, sugary food, ultimately, if that's what you want to do with your existence. But when everyone's like shitting themselves because there's a pandemic and they think that the way they're going to compete is to wash their hands with chlorine and fluoride and wear a mask and get a fucking hand sanitizer and shit like that, which just goes straight into your bloodstream, that's also full of shit, is people don't understand that the whole pandemic was actually created because in our culture particularly, our idea of health is like if you're fat or not, but there's like breath work, the food, the mindfulness and epigenetics and shit like this, and but like most people have no idea. But yeah, I didn't mean to go on a massive rant, but that's like wouldn't you agree that that's basically what we're on about?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're completely right. But yeah, that's why I can't ingest something if I don't know what it is. And it's like, for example, milk. Like raw milk is really good for you, but then when they put it through this process where they're like pasteurizing it, there's loads of shit in it. And not only that, it's like the cows are being pumped with stuff, and they're all like in these big fucking machine things that take them round in a like conveyor, and they're all like, obviously what they have to do to get the milk is impregnate the cow and then take the baby away and then just keep doing that. So it's, you know what I mean? So you just keep the milk going, and it's just so fucked, like how they do it, and people don't actually realise, like why would you like, obviously I used to drink milk. I used to like have any milk whatsoever, but then I like started thinking like why would you not, why we don't drink like kitten milk, you know, we don't drink like other animals' milk, we just
Well, I think like
cow's milk. And when you think about a cow isn't even like a real animal. A cow is like a cross between a bison and something else. So it's the crossbred animal, and then it's pumped with hormones to make it like bigger and grow faster and whatever. So that's going in it, and then it's like they say like there's pus in your milk now, but it's just the whole pasteurization process. That's what makes it like bad for you. But when you have like pure milk, apparently it's like a superfood. You know what I mean? Or like goat's milk, for example.
Yeah, no, you are right. I've heard that a lot. Like, I swear, raw milk. I don't know where it's like illegal in some places. It's weird. Goat's milk is good. Says someone else said real talk.
Because a goat is an animal that was like made from God. You know what I mean? Or
but
from
what I think, like, there's again, I think there's many nuances to it where it's like it's never as black and white as I once thought. Where like eh, like all, like, I think you have the freedom if you want ultimately to be like sovereign, and like you can drink milk and like it will get you by. It might detriment your consciousness into be like the healthiest you could be, and you might want to be aware of the decisions you're making. And that's the main thing, is that people don't understand. They just like go to McDonald's because their parents fucking took them from day one, and that's the main thing. Is like, I talk to people and they're ill, and they don't understand that the reason they're ill is because like I've tried to tell them like, oh, by the way, because I've had like a manager when I worked at this shop for like 4 months, and he was perpetually ill the whole time, and I was like, well, the reason you're ill is because of this, this, and this. Clearly, because by the way you live. But they.
No one wants to hear it. It's so annoying.
I know, but it's the truth, and like you don't have to do anything about it. Each to their own. But that's why you're ill, because
people are so in denial, and like that's another reason I actually changed my whole lifestyle. Like I was literally raised, pork, like, you know, bacon sarnie for breakfast with like your sausages, your fried egg. You know what I mean, and like ham sandwiches to go to school on bleached white bread. You know what I mean? Fucking tap water with that mysterious chemical, like, fake blackcurrant shit. You know? And like, I look back at that, and that's where I come from. And then, obviously, everything went on in my own life, and I started feeling like my illness wasn't physical. You know? It was more like what was going on in my head. Like, what you eat is what you are, and you get depressed when you're just eating shit, and it's true. And like the parasites that are inside you, and people don't want to talk about this one. This is the one that like everyone just like no, but everyone has like parasites, obviously, that are like swimming around in there. They break up all your food, sending messages to your brain, and obviously that, you know, that happened. It happened to me, like, you know, it happens to everyone, and that's where you get like binge eating from. But no one wants to talk about that. Everyone wants to say no. You can't fat shame. You know what I mean? You can't tell someone that like they're making them ill. You know what I mean? You know, get cancelled. So
So like and what we're saying, like the thing is like we're not saying like like you can do what you want about it, but the truth is when it comes to health, which is really the ground of your whole being, like
if you don't have health, then you spend all that money on, you know, like people spend so much money on designer, but like they're ill, you know. But carry on.
Yeah, and I guess like again, it just depends like about your values and what you want to do. But I think like I think an important perspective to take into it. I don't know like how familiar you are, but I've said to you a few times. I listened to you do know of Alan Watts, don't you? Of course.
Yeah.
And he speaks of like the kind of the contradiction to this, because what we're speaking about is like the worldview that Inspector Veg would hold and resonate with is like, yeah, like, you know, the everything in Babylon or the Western culture is poison, leave that junk on a shelf, the only true wealth is your health. But then Alan Watts would say, like, because he was super spiritual, he was like, he had many awakenings, he's done psychedelics, and Buddhism was like one of his main fields, and that, of course. And but like, it's this kind of idea that like that you must go on living and that it's serious. Because I used to like, because Mr. Nature and Mrs. Sunshine, I done a podcast interview with both of them, and they basically told me, because I spoke to them about, yeah, how the food is polluted, etc. And they said it is, and you are right. However, there's also kind of like a wholesome, like okayness, like in the fact of like, you know, like how we had like birthday cakes growing up and eat, and like that you enjoy them, right? It's like it is good in a sense.
I think my phone's gonna die, so I'm just gonna whack it on charge. Yeah, carry on.
But it's good in a sense, you know what I mean? In terms of like, it's not all bad. You can't do you disagree?
You're completely right, and I feel like I like to be alive in this time where we are in the information age. We're able to like have all this knowledge. We're able to make these alkaline meals that are like so healthy, and then when people try them, they're like, wow, this is one of the best meals I've ever had. And like, you tell them, like, got no sugar in it, it's got no gluten, no nothing, and they're like, wow, really, you know? And it's like breaking down, I don't know, because you see things so differently after stuff like this happens, you know? Like, I go out to like Tesco now, and I see like the propaganda of like the big like roast chicken and the big like tomatoes that are obviously fake. And you know, you realise that it's fake, and it's like, you know, and you're walking around the shop, and it's like everyone's got these things, and it's like, it's good to know. And sometimes it makes me want to like shout at everyone, like, you know, wake up, but you can't. And you know, you just have to sort of educate people by like being that change instead of like preaching at people, you know, because I like when I'd preach at people before, and I think a lot of people have gone through that sort of experience, and I feel like that's, you know, the Inspector Veg sort of like starting experiences where, like, you know, you're sort of telling everyone, come on, like, leave that fucking junk, but you have to let people like learn from their mistakes. Like my little brother, for example, I was going on about him eating them sweets. Like, that's what I used to do, and I wouldn't listen to anyone before. I used to eat loads of shit and wouldn't listen to anyone before. If someone told me, like, oh yeah, like, I'm vegan, I'd be like, what the fuck do you mean you're vegan? Like, that's weird, you little weirdo, like, go and eat some meat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like this cigarette, like, that's what everyone, like when I've had jobs with, like, I've never seen a girl this young spit so many 3+ jokes. What was I going to say? Yeah, I was a bin man, yeah, and all of these environments, like with builders, like every like construction site I've worked on, they all turn up with fucking Red Bull, a Boost fucking bar, chocolate bar thing, pot noodle and coffee and shit, and a cigarette, and then I'll go and walk barefoot on some grass in the sun with my shirt off, and someone with a tracksuit and a cigarette will like project some insecurity onto me and be like, cringe, like, I mean, like put some shoes on, what a weirdo, like, it's like, what is all, it's like, it's so ungrounded, like, that's why people talk about it. And the reason why you can preach it, what you just said, you were like, you keep telling people about it. This is how I explain preaching, in a sense, with whether it's psychedelics or about the health, is that you find something and it's so revolutionary that it's basically the holy grail. Therefore, you bring it back to your tribe and your family and the people who are supposed to care about what you discover in reality, but instead they just say,
but like, if you just notice how, like, some people will just, it's like they turn into agents. You know what I mean? When you bring a certain thing up, like I've been around my family, and you can all joke about one thing, and then as soon as you bring that one thing up, they like start defending like the government, like it's, I don't know. It's just, sometimes you can't even have these conversations with people at all. And
I know
like
what you,
people
yeah.
like us, it's, for me anyway, I feel like I don't even like know my family. Like I don't speak to them, because it's just, that wavelength is so different. You know, you're not on that level anymore, and everyone just either thinks you're like completely crazy, or I don't know, just won't. You just can't engage. For me, for me anyway. But that's why I do try to avoid these conversations now, and let people come to me and ask me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's not really like, you don't want to like, because it's so
it's not
easy to
their
like
fault.
just
You
start.
know, you have to think like it's not anyone's fault that they don't know this information. Knowing this information doesn't make anyone any better or worse. It just
It's
means that like no
the
one's
reason why we
going to talk
speak
to you.
about it.
But
The
yeah,
reason, oh, go on.
I feel like when it's different levels of consciousness, isn't it? Like everyone's on a different stage of their journey, and you can help people, but you can't, you know, do anything for them. They have to make them changes and
Well,
stuff.
the main what I think a lot of it is, yeah, is there's kind of two things I want to say, but they kind of tie in. So, like, say Inspector Veg, he talks a lot about how his past, you know, his parents just fed him like shit. He didn't say try a vegetable until he was 21 or some
Yeah,
shit. He said on a fucking old video. And then obviously they're pushing him into the indoctrination education system and feeding him fucking Cocoa Pops and pasteurized milk for breakfast with
I feel
and then
like
sending
it's
him to
definitely
fucking.
a universal experience, though, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Like, didn't you have that? Like, I had that life,
But
definitely.
that's what I'm speaking about, and this is why the reason I'm saying it is because so that there's one facet is that like there's a lot of pain and suffering that's unnecessary. If you search endocrine disruptors documentary, stop fucking watching this. Go search that. Not you, Katie.
I think I've seen.
Yeah, some of the top comments say so much unnecessary suffering and pain, where children are being injected with synthetic like chemicals, and the big food is because everything's kind of like based on greed, and they try and slip through the cracks, and like uh, it's all for profit, and there's many sneaky tactics where they put sugar in foods to keep you coming back and keep you
Yeah, yeah.
addicted, and a lot
MSG.
of stuff in there like vegetable oils and rapeseed
Yeah.
oil and stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff in food that is just straight up like that's not supposed to be in your body, and so there was that, like how people are suffering unnecessarily, and then there's also just how I see parents like with children, their children will get ill, and I like want to say,
I have
oh, by the way, yeah, that's what I mean, and I kind of want to go, oh, by the way, it's because somehow most of humanity is just thick, and they've passed down from generation to generation, and it's slowly getting worse because of like the Industrial Revolution and fucking Babylon, capitalism or whatever. How and no one understands how like if you feed your child just fucking refined sugars for breakfast, and then he's getting ill, and then you're both suffering, and like it's so mad, and people
now
don't
is
know.
about simplicity. You know what I mean? You think about it like, I know when I was little, it was just my mum by herself, you know, and she's got 2 kids, and it's like, oh, what do I make? I've just come back from my shift. Like, she was working night shifts at one point as well, and you just chuck these fucking chicken nuggets in the oven. You know, that's the universal experience. But like
Yeah.
that's why I don't think I like, even being a vegan, yeah, or even being like alkaline, I don't think the things that are that bad. I don't think like people use lard. I don't think that's that bad. Like milk's not that bad. Not even meat is that bad. It's just the way it is now. The way that they've managed to take this like this industry and turn it into something so like fucked up that like when you're playing a role in that, that's going towards like your consciousness, you know, the like the emotions that you're eating and stuff like that, and just the way that everything's processed. That's the worst thing about like the food industry today, I think, you know, and that how quick everything is, because that's what they've done, sped everything up. They've taken this, you know, like, yeah, time is a bit of a weird one, because some people think time exists and some people think it doesn't, but like, yeah, you know, you've obviously got the cycles and stuff, but like, we shouldn't be working our whole lives. We should be looking after our kids. Like, think about the school food. Like, when you go to school, it's, for me, it was sausage rolls, pizzas, and you know, none of it's gonna be like organic.
Bro, that's what I
is
mean.
it?
This is what I'm saying. Like,
And,
my parents
you
are
can't
literally...
even afford that. Like, that's the mad thing about it. Like, you can't even, these days, you can't even afford the shit food. You know, so like, it's no one's fault when the kids are eating this sort of thing to a certain extent. Like, I know now. Like, I have a mate that she's pregnant, and you know, she doesn't really eat the best, but like, I'm gonna try and make sure that that baby has organic, you know, baby food. Like, if she tries to feed it, you know, that powder stuff, I'll be like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, in a compassionate way, because I don't want to be a preacher, but you know.
No, yeah, it's compassion. It's like,
It's passion. You know, it's like it's being that person that wants to break the generational cycles and wants to like heal people. Because I feel like that, for me anyway, like that's my calling. I am a bit confused at the minute for like what I want to do, and I feel like that's why like my Instagram, for example, is so like plain, because it's like I don't know, I can't describe myself, because you can't describe what you don't really know. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's, like we were saying earlier, everyone's on that like stage of awakening, and for me it's like I'm going through I have to be by myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I need a big mushroom trip, sat by myself in a dark room. I feel like that would push me.
yeah, that normally does it, doesn't it?
Soon come. You know, I'm not gonna rush it.
That normally knocks everything into place once you get once you come out the other end.
I'm gonna turn this light on because it's a bit dark. That's better.
But yeah, I think it's just people don't know, and it like I remember being so ill and stuff like. And, like, this is the thing, yeah. Like I don't know when it comes to like the vaccine and that. It's just intuitively right. So here we go. You get the vaccine, right? You get the injection. Obviously, if you give it to children and that, there's videos of them crying and that when they get it, of course. So they don't feel good for one, whatever. But right. So this medicine, right? What happens when you take this medicine? You get fucking really ill for like 3 fucking days, and your whole you're fucked. So like, this is the thing. It's like, so all the fast food and the fucking Domino's stay open. What you said, that one of the best points ever is, I remember going to school, and they give you fizzy fucking drinks, pound pizzas, cheese, bread, grease, fucking, what the fuck? It's weird, man.
Yeah.
I've worked behind the scenes in Subway and Domino's. Oh my fucking god, it's scary the way that shit comes in. Literally, like, the way the chicken comes in plastic bags, and it smells like fucking death, and it's literally not even like real. It literally is like mucus on a fucking stick.
And people live for that shit. Like, think about, and that's why they're open so late as well. Like, think about like kebab shops and shit like that. Everyone gets out on the piss, Friday night freak show, and then straight to the kebab shops to go and munch that dirty like fucking thing. And you even see it on that little spinning thing. And like, think about like everyone, even like people that used to, you know, eat shit like that, we used to think that was so appetizing, you know. But like, now it's like, for me now, I just feel like every dead animal is like a dead animal, and it's like rotting. Like, when you actually like research about how it goes through and how it actually doesn't go through your system, it just sort of stays there. And I feel like that's what made me so angry. I used to be so angry, like when I was in school, I just wanted to go around fighting everyone. Like, I was just, you know, I was like this tall, and just like, yeah.
I don't want to be depressed.
Like, when I went vegan, I was like, hang on, like, I don't need to live like this, you know. Life's great, you know. Like, it's like you're eating life, and you feel alive. That's just the way it was. That's the way it was for me. That's the way I see it. You know, I'm not trying to convert anyone, but know, don't
But
knock
I
it
don't
till
want
you've tried
to
it.
be depressed and angry, and I don't want to fight with my family, so I don't eat baked beans, hash browns, we don't eat wedges. Put your bacon down, steamers up.
Yes, love it. Love it. Yeah.
These TikTok ones.
Yeah.
Is one of his? He's got like these rare bars that I found recently. Inspector Edge. What was it? He's like, what? I'll have to send it to you. He's like, you watch too much television. You got too many pigs in your fridge.
Oh, no, you to speak facts. I do love it.
Too many
I
pigs
remember
in your
just
fridge.
jamming in your kitchen, making oyster mushroom wraps. Just jamming to Inspector Fridge.
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
go to the
come on.
park. Animals spit me. Love
Yeah.
it.
What was it? Yeah, he's jokes, man. He's the
Yeah.
funniest geezer. Indigo Queen. I think, I don't know about you, but I think that was pretty successful. I think,
Yeah,
are
that
you
was.
if we,
Yeah.
because I don't know, I gotta, when we get off this, I gotta go, because of Instagram, we said the C word a few times, you know,
Oh,
so I don't know if
yeah.
they'll just like
Hello.
remove the whole thing.
Yeah, you probably should probably just delete it. I apologize. I can't like keep my mouth shut with like words like that. But yeah,
No.
we'll have to.
Yeah, no, I said it a few times myself. Like I wasn't trying to. I'm just saying. Like before we do it for too long, because it could get like murdered.
Yeah.
When I finish it, I'm gonna go on my computer and download. I've got like 30-minute. Like this was sick, and I've got other ones as well that I've done some with Ryan Saunders or something. I need to download them and like upload them to Spotify and shit like that because
Yeah,
that's
that's
what like
cool. We can do
people like
another
listening
one whenever
to
anyway. You
it.
know, I know that I still could like chat for absolute days on here. This was very fun. I've never like done anything like this before. You know,
That's
so
what I said. See, it's actually easy, yeah. When you actually like
yeah, when
get in the flow of
you
it, like
get the flow, like
it's good.
I was sat here like, oh no, like this is gonna happen. You know, but you just build it all up in your head, and then you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just
here
it's
we
just
are.
easy.
This is,
Like,
yeah, it's like a phone call with people watching.
yeah,
But yeah,
I mean,
I have loads to go into next time. We can make this a regular thing if you like.
and yeah, we will. We'll definitely do more, and let us know whoever's been watching or whatever what you thought. And I know there was a lot of like good educational shit in there, definitely.
Do you think?
And I just like talking to people and just interconnecting the community and shit. Like that's what it's all about. So we get more people on and do it for more time. And we'll eventually we'll cook up some cool ideas, and hopefully it will
Yeah.
take off. And fuck knows what could happen. You know what I mean? It could be more
Yeah,
than it is in the
we
future.
should do like obviously we should. I'm thinking like one day I'd love to do like a like when I get to my level of herbalism that I'm happy with, I'll be like, yeah, you know, people can come in for suggestions of like what I should tell them how to heal. You know what I mean? Like people will be like, oh, I've got diabetes. What should I take? And I'll be like, you
Yeah.
should do this. You know, because I don't like to
Diabetes, like,
preach, but if I'm given advice that's being asked for, then I feel like that's great.
but yeah, if you literally just know what you're going on about, then you're like a real doctor. Because
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, but
doctors.
you've got to be really careful in like the herbalistic community. I'm actually doing a course on it, and they said like you can't call yourself a healer, and you can't like say that these are gonna like cure people because you'll get like arrested. Like think about like Dr. Sabi, like what happened to him, you know, because he said
Yeah, because what
even though
happened? He said,
he
"Oh,
did actually like cure people.
yeah." He come in and he said, "Oh, yeah." So the Western government stopped Dr. Sebi in his tracks and said, "You can't heal all these people. You're full of
Yeah,
shit." So what he done is he got like a
proof.
ridiculous
Yeah,
amount of testimonies and brought them to court and basically proved that he has like revolutionized and like completely contradicts Western medicine. And then he just mysteriously died, like,
seriously.
but pretty soon after,
Yeah,
it seems to happen to anyone who's like goes against the fucking, well, I don't know, anyone who like has a ripple through politics disappears.
magically gets wiped off the face of the earth. But you know,
I don't know.
Hello,
All right, let's wrap
Gabriel
it up.
Trick.
So, yeah, someone has said hi, but I think we're basically
we are going, unfortunately, but
check it out
tune
though.
in
If you're
next time.
basically, yeah, we're gonna go. If you just join, basically, everything you know about health and food is fucking wrong. So skip this back. It'll be uploaded in a second, and it will save your life
Yeah,
and your children.
yeah.
But that. All right, I'm out. It'll be public. It should be in a second. I'll give you a message in a second, and I'll
Scary, but
export it and shit. All right, this was good.
it was. Farewell, everybody.
Farewell, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.